Hi and welcome to Visual Basic Hospital Management System. So let me show you guys how this works. Okay, I can always click on the prescription and you guys notice what's going to happen here. Select that prescription. Let's say we go for ibuprofen. There we go. That is added onto the system. Okay, and let's try another one out. Paracetamol. Right, so that's how the system works. We can move last or we can move first. See that? We can click to add new. Now we can reset. The other thing we can do is we can always add to our prescription list. There we go. Suppose let's change the prescription that we have here to Crocodile, and you see that, let's say prescription, that becomes Crocodile. So what I'm going to do right now is I want to take you guys straight into Visual Basic Development Environment. I will put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Hi and welcome to Visual Basic Hospital Management System. I'm going to start by clicking on Create New Project. And next, let's give our project a name. So that's going to be VB_hospital management systems, and click on save. Make sure Visual Basic is selected and Windows Form application is selected as well. Now that the form is ready, let me go straight to the property and reconfigure the size of this form. So I'm going to give it 1386 by 800. Right. Then I will also come in here. You see the start position? We need to change that to center. Come right there, drop that down, select center screen. And where we have, you see the form here, the text that says Form 1, change that to Hospital Management System. Right there. Next thing is come straight to the toolbox and let's look for tab control. And the tab control, I'm going to add 2 more tabs. 1, 2, and let's change the content of this tab control as follows. Go to the properties and let's select tab page, and we change that. Number 1, let's change that to the text, actually, not the name. Let's look for the text right there. Change the text to maybe the first one. I'm going to call that, shall we go for patients. Right. And the second one, let's go for the second one. I'm going to call the second one prescription, or maybe I should call the first one prescription and call the second one patient. Cut that off and call the first one prescription. Right, and the second one will be patient. Right, the third one, I want to call that doctor. Then the fourth one, let's call that, we call that pharmacy. Right, click on OK. There we go. Now the next thing we want to do is let's change the back color for each of the tab. I'm going to change it to control. let's just type it in there, control. It's number 1 is control, and number 2, come in here, change that to control as well. Pin this down. Let's come in here. That color, control. Number 3, that color of number 3, turn that to control, and number 4, drop this down and get the tab you want, and change that to control as well. There we go. Now all I just need to do is to resize the tab itself. Let's click up there, drag, and we take it from there. There we go, guys. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do now is to add a database, the database that I've already created. Let me show it to you guys. That's it right there. And let me show you this very table. Right click and you guys can view the fields. Those are the fields. Okay, you can also make up something like that. Okay, this is of the belief that you guys can know or you understand how to create a database, which is not difficult really. So that's it. That's for the patients. Just make up your own field. And let's see the pharmacy. That's for the pharmacy right there. Okay, take it back up so that you can see it. Now prescription, let's see the prescription. So that is the prescription, and there I just paid those up. I don't know if they're right or wrong. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do now is let's close that very database. I will now go straight to tools right here. Click on tools, and let's connect to database. So select that very option and right. So make sure Microsoft Access data file is selected. If not, you can always change it. Okay, so now click on browse. Let me try and locate where I have my hospital database. There we go. It's selected. I'm going to get rid of this admin and let's click on test connection. That's it. It's working fine. Click on OK. There. Now I have my hospital database there. Okay, the next thing is to go to the data source. If you don't have your data source here, you can always go to view, go to other window, and right up here is your data source. Okay, once you click on it, you should be able to get this. Now click on add new data source. Now this dialog box pops up. That's the data source configuration widget. Click on next, and let's click on next again. Make sure you get this, you get your database, and click on next. Okay, this message is just to confirm that you intend to save the database into your project area. Click on yes, and there we go. Click on next again, and right here is the table. Check that and drop this down if you want to see the table. Okay, those are the table, and click on finish. That's all there is to it. Okay, now I have my table in place. So all I need to do now is, let me start with that of prescription. Just go straight onto the database. That's the prescription. Click on the drop down arrow, select details, grab the prescription and drop it right there. and as you can see, the hospital data set, prescription data binding source, prescription table adapter, table adapter manager, and prescription binding navigator. They're all in there. Next one is, I'm gonna now grab data grid view, just drop it there, click, drag, drop it right there. Okay, let's repeat exactly the same thing for the patient. Come right in here, drop that down, prescription data grid view, and sorry, the patient data grid view, just grab and drop it there. Now let's go back in here, drop this down, grab the details and drop it right here. Repeat exactly the same thing for the doctor. There's a doctor there, data grid view, grab it, drop it here, and let's grab the details, doctor's details. Grab doctor's details, drop it right there. Then finally, the pharmacies. Okay, that's the pharmacies here. Let's repeat exactly the same thing for the pharmacy. Grab and drop. And we then need the details. Grab the details, drop it right there. There. So all I'm going to do now is just to take care of the interface, tidy things up, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as that is done. Okay, this is how it looks now. Let me show you the other tabs. That's for patient, doctor, and pharmacy. Let's go back to prescription. In the case of prescription, I'm going to add, let's add a combo box up here, and I'm just going to copy this, hold down the control and just drag and change the name of that to prescription. Right, okay, that's the name of that, and I'm going to drag this. Now we also make the size of my combo box. Let me make it 12 as well, because every single component here, the font size is 12, so the combo box should be 12 as well. That is nice. Let me bring that down a little bit. Okay, that is fine with this with the prescription. So let's give that a name. Really, come right down here, copy, and give this a name. So that's going to be known as CMB prescription. There, it's now valid. Why do I have a prescription there? I don't think so. Okay, let's go back, give it a name again. There, let's get rid of. Alright, now, so the next thing I'm going to do is, you see, with the CMB prescription, I'm going to add some prescription on it. So let's double click on the form itself, and right here on the form load, let's tab this have the database information. Right there, let's enter CMB prescription dot items dot add. And what are we adding? Okay, the first medication, I'm going to call that ibuprofen. Right, that's my first medication. Let's add another, maybe 3 more. Okay, so I'm going to make these Cocodemo. Let's see. Cocodemo. And now this very one, let me change this one to paracetamol. And finally, let's change this one to, let's see, what can we change that to? Let's look for something else. Okay, let's just enter something to do with antihistamine there. Those are all the medication I intend to use, so that's fine. So if I run it, this is what you guys will see. And there we go, guys. So the whole idea is when I select any of these, I want this selection to give me some more information that should go right in here. Okay, let's close this then and double click on this combo box here. Right inside the combo box, what I'm gonna do is, let's go for try. And in there, well, I'm going to use an if statement. If combo dot text equals ibuprofen, then I want the following to happen. First thing first, let's say me dot prescription binding. So prescription binding source, I think it's here, right here. Yeah, there we go. Then I'm gonna go for dot add new, right? Okay. Prescription binding source is going to add as follows. So in that case, the content in here, I need the name of these. In fact, I'm going to need the name of every single component, and I'm going to need the name of these as well. So paste that in there. Dot text equals the reference number for this medication, let's say B whatever, that's the reference number for that, and the name. Let's come in here, grab this name. No, that's for reference. Yeah, that's for name. We need the name of that. Copy that very name, come in here, paste that in here. Dot text equals ibuprofen. There. And what about this other one? The dosage for it. Let's see the name of that. Copy that, come in here, and let's make up dosage. Dot text. Let's say maybe 2 tablets. Right. So that is for those 3. And I'm going to repeat the same thing for these other ones, so I may have to speed that up. So come in here, copy that. This one is going to be number of tablets. The text, I think we have about 32. Let's say we have 32 in there. So I'm going to speed that up. But before that, let me run it so that you guys see what I'm talking about. Then I can then speed it all up. But one thing first, let's come in here and just enter message box in case there's an error. Message box dot show dot message, right? Just in case if there's any error, so that we actually handles the error. Okay, so let me run it and you guys see what I'm talking about, and I'll speed up the rest of the lines of code. So let's run it and see. There we go. So if we select this and click on and select ibuprofen, there we go. You see that? So the system is now added the following. So that is fine. Okay, so I will now speed that up and get back to you guys shortly. Okay, the first part of the code is completed, so now let's run it and you guys see what I'm talking about. Okay, this is how it looks now. Let's select the ibuprofen, that's it, and that populates there. If I select another set of ibuprofen, it actually populates this data grid view. Now I haven't finished developing the interface, but let's try and finish up with the codes anyway, because here I'm going to have to add receipt and some buttons there. So close that and let's come in here. I'm going to copy all of this and use if statement, else if. Let's speed that up. There we go. So else if, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so let's paste that again underneath here and change it around. There we go, because I have 4 of those there. So all I just need to do now is to change around the medications that we have in there. So right here we have paracetamol, so copy paracetamol and just change it right here. That will be paracetamol, and here will be paracetamol as well. Okay, I presume you guys get the whole idea anyway, so I'm going to just speed up the lines of codes and get back to you. Alright, this is how the lines of codes look like. In the case of this very one here, that's just to clear all of the content. Okay, and this is the other one. Have a good look at it there and there. Okay, those are the 4 medication I have on my combo box, and I've also added make a selection onto the combo box, this very one. So I actually want this to be displayed on the combo box itself, so I think maybe we should just add the text. Let's see what's going to happen. Or we can just copy this and paste it there anyway. Copy and come to the properties of this very combo box here, paste it onto the text value here. There. Let's run it and see how it's going to look like. There we go, guys. This is how it all looks now. So if I make any selection here, there we go. Now that is added, and let's add, and so on. Okay, so with this, I'm going to call this the end of the very first part of this tutorial, and I'll get back to you guys shortly.